A year ago, I got married to the woman who I thought was the love of my life. Now, after fleeing the country, I have chosen to file for divorce and walk away from my marriage. From the betrayal to the death threats, the insults, and the lawsuits, I'm gonna explain and show you guys why
Death
I ultimately
threats.
made the
Wow.
decision to walk away from my marriage. I
Okay.
remember the first years of the relationship being some of the happiest in my life. I can't say exactly what it was that made me love my wife so much, but I just felt such a great sense of peace and love, not just from her,
Okay.
but from the whole entire church community. And I think that was a really
Oh,
big
you're
factor
part of the
actually
church.
in me choosing to be with my wife, because I was so in love with the community and how they treated me and how they welcomed me with open arms. They sold me on all these amazing ideas of Jesus loves you, this is what Jesus would want.
Okay,
All
it's a
the
church
bad negative
community.
stereotypes that I had about religion just went out the door.
So
But I
what went
remember
wrong?
feeling a very strong sensation and feeling from God telling me that this woman was going to be my wife. And
Okay, guys, before he goes on, I was just wondering because he was saying like he was receiving death threats and stuff like that. So I was just like, oh, I hope he's. Because, guys, you know how YouTube works, innit? You have to be careful what you reveal. Yeah, and I just saw pictures of his family, so I might blur that out. What he was saying made me remember something that my pastor used to always say. Even if you have a relationship that starts off with God, so you know for a fact this is the person you're meant to be with, maybe you have some divine, I guess, insight. Well, that's the word I would use in English. Of course, there's a different word for it in the Christian community, but it's like a divine insight. You know for a fact this is the job you're meant to be in, you know for a fact this is the lady you're meant to marry. That is not a guarantee that you will make it till the end, because the wonderful thing about God, and guys, I'm sorry that I've interrupted the video, it just really made me think about it. The wonderful thing about God is that you still have free will. Even if he says, I'm calling you to do something, or I'm giving you this is a divine insight from me, you still have a choice, and it takes two to tango. So if one person chooses to walk in that knowledge of this is from God and I need to protect it, and the other doesn't, you're still looking towards, I guess, some form of separation or disaster or tragedy. So it just made me remember that, because everything he's painted so far, it's like, oh wow, it's a Christian community, and he himself, it's not like he was forced into it. He himself knew for a fact that this is the lady he was meant to marry. So I'm interested to find out what went wrong. Let's go.
I may have picked being with my wife because I was more in love with the stability and the feeling of love that I got from their whole entire community. Finally being in an environment where you're treated like someone who's appreciated, right? And someone who's loved. There's only three ways you can
What
really
went
get to know a
wrong?
person. You have sex with them, you travel together, or you live together. And because I wasn't able to do any of those, I don't think that if we...
He said those are the only three ways you can get to know people.